Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 9, Episode 7, and today we've got the second leg of the Europa League second knockout round. It's all a lot of seconds, but we've got to get a result in this game, or at least score an away goal or two, if we want to get through to the quarter-finals. So plenty at stake in this one. We've got loads of games coming up this month that are going to shape our season. We've got Liverpool in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, and then Chelsea and Arsenal in the league. So it's going to be a busy period, but this European one's the most important to me. If we can get European success and win a trophy in the European competitions, we should be able to attract some interest from major clubs. But first, since the last episode, we have had a few games. You can see we've slipped a little bit in the league. It's just because we're basically sacrificing it for the other competitions. So after that Leeds game you saw on camera, where we finally got our first trophy of our career, we followed that up with a league game against Leicester just 3 days before an FA Cup tie against them. So we sacrificed our first team for the league. We unfortunately lost it 2-1, but we did then beat them 5-1 in the Cup in the game that I was more worried about. A return to our first team, Arzani, Louise, Gilmore and Bernard all getting goals as we won comfortably in that one. We then won 1-0 in the first leg of the Europa League second knockout round. That's the game we'll be playing today, is the return leg of this one. Valdir Rantan with a late goal to give us a lead, and more importantly a clean sheet, meaning we've not got as many worries as we did in Fiorentina. But again this time, 3 days before another crucial game, we can't rest anyone this time around as it's just too close to call. But we did win 4-0 in the Premier League game against Everton. Mauricio Zia, one of the backup strikers, he came into the team and got a hat-trick, and Greenwood got one from out wide as well, as our backup team did well on that occasion. So plenty of optimism today, but it's going to be a tough stretch of 4, though this one is the one I really want to win, and that's why I'm going to be showing you it on camera. If we go out of this competition, I will then in the next episode show you the FA Cup game, as that will take on so much more importance. I know it's going to be a slightly longer season this time, but this career is all about winning trophies, and that's what I want to show you guys, us competing at the very top level. We've waited a long time to get here, we've had some failures along the way, so we might as well make the most of competing for success. The other thing we've had since the last episode, and just yesterday in fact in game, is our youth intake for this year. It's a really disappointing one. Just one player that's got potential decent ability, and that's Kerwin Houston. He's a 15-year-old pressing forward, plays comfortably up front, 1-star ability, 3.5 potential. He's a decent young player and he's going to be a good professional footballer, but whether or not he'll reach the top level I'm not sure. He's got low determination as well, so that could hold him back slightly, but there's plenty to work with there. We'll see if we can make the best of him. I'm sure we won't be here in 4 or 5 years time, but if we are, I highly doubt Houston will be a first team player. So not too many bits of massive news off the pitch since the last one, but it's going to be a really tense game today. We've got Lyon in the Europa League with a 1-0 lead going into this leg. You just never know away from home. Based on our last one against Fiorentina will be awful. We've had some shockers on the road in the Champions League as well, so it's going to be really tough to get the victory today, although we're going to try our very best. So let's go and see who's favourites for it. Lyon's slight favourites on the night, but obviously don't forget a 1-goal defeat with an away goal means we'll go through on that rule. If we draw, we're through. If we win, we're through. So it's an easy job to do. We just don't know if we can do it. And look who the manager is for Lyon. Former Newcastle man, Rafa Benitez. They'll probably be singing his name in the away end, although we've now won a trophy, so maybe we'll be more popular. But let's go and look at the lineup for today. It's pretty much as you'd expect. We've got everyone that we could have from the first team available, playing in their preferred roles, and we're going into it hoping they can do their best, as on their day they can beat absolutely anyone. The only slightly weakened area in the team is both Lavinas with a knock and Greenwood, who got a knock at the weekend and isn't quite fully fit. They're both not on the bench today, where in normal circumstances they would be, but Mauricio Zia scored a hat-trick at the weekend, so he's not a bad replacement to have. But no surprises in our starting lineup, as it's David Raya in goal, Gomez and Luiz the fullbacks, with Konza and Yanderson at centre-half, Douglas Luiz in his Segundo Volante role, Billy Gilmore in the middle, and then Arzani, Oliveira and Barra behind Bernard the lone striker. We've got plenty of game changers on the bench. Rantan, who scored the winner in the first leg, Iwobi's an experienced pro for us, we mentioned Zia, who got the hat-trick at the weekend, and then plenty of defensive options should we need to shore it up. So let's get into the match and see if we can cling on for a quarter-final place. It's a 4-2-3-1 against the same formation today. We've obviously got the slight difference with Douglas Luiz's role, but it's pretty much the same formation for the two sides, and we're just going to hope we can nick the result today. If we lose 2-1 or 3-2, then so be it, as long as we get through. I don't really care how now. We're going to tell the lads to pick up where they left off. It's what Antia wanted, our assistant. Joe Gomez is motivated, and the rest are fairly keen. So let's get into the first half. It's Lyon with the kick-off. Newcastle have changed strip, and they're pretty close together, but we can easily enough tell the difference, so we'll watch Lyon build out from the back. They've got a centre midfielder called Berger. That's going to make us hungry as we go along, but they're going back to the centre half, and they've been forced back brilliantly by the press, and Loris Karius in goal. Hopefully he'll produce a clanger today as well. I don't know if he's got the same traits in game. If he can do what he did in that Champions League final, we'll very much be happy. We've got the ball at the back though with Yanderson. Goes long over the top, but is headed away, only as far as Brian Barrett. He finds Arzani cutting in from that right, and now Billy Gilmore's got a chance to build an attack. Oliviera 25 yards out, goes for the shot. It's in the top corner on his weaker foot from that range. We always play him in the big games, despite the fact Ranzan's half a star rated better, but Oliviera has proven why today. A crucial away goal early on, and an absolute screamer on his weaker foot from just outside the box. You could tell from the way we were going, we didn't even expect a shot at that point. For him to produce that on his weaker foot is absolutely outstanding. Karius makes a save from Arzani on a follow-up, and it remains 1-0 with 7 minutes gone. Diakate to Laperto. Lyon have had a couple of set pieces already, and now they've got it out on the right-hand side. Beats the man, crosses in, but the header's straight at Raya, and he can deal with those comfortably. He throws it out to the left-back Lewis, already advanced, trying to get forward. Charges past two. He's got loads of space to run into. Finds Bernard. He's put it in the corner, and we are going through to the quarter-finals. 2 away goals early on, and now Lyon need 4 if they're going to get through. What a fantastic start. These lads seem to want to win the Europa League just as much as me. 15 gone. It's Lyon on the attack, but they're going to need to do a lot more of that if they want to win today. What a fantastic result this will be, and what a brilliant start. After a few disappointing performances, we've really come out of the blocks fast. Lyon have won a corner as Raya makes the save, the captain on the night, and he deserves success. What a hero he's been for us. We head away the corner well, and it's out for a throw on the Lyon right. Just under 10 minutes to the break. We haven't seen a highlight for 20 minutes, and that suits us just down to the ground with the result as it stands at the moment. Here's Arzani in the middle, and Lewis is overlapping on the left again. Let's not forget his work for that second goal. Charge from left back through the whole team. It was just a simple rollout from the keeper, and he ran the length of the pitch and put Bernard in. It was a lovely finish, but Lewis did the majority of the work. Gomez with a cross which is blocked. Yanderson finds Gomez again though, and we can build again in the Lyon half. Oliviera to Bernard. Barrett's got Lewis overlapping but can't find him. Goes back to Bernard though, and he forces a smart save from Karius, who does pretty well to hold it. 5 minutes to the break, and we still lead 2-0 on the night and 3-0 on aggregate. Lyon need 4 to win, and what a fantastic first half this has been. Let's go and talk to the lads after that brilliant first half performance. We pretty much wrapped up the tie in 8 minutes, but we've been arrogant before. We did it against Spurs a couple of episodes ago, and we did it the one before against Schalke as well, and they all nearly cost us, so we'll be a bit more careful this time. Let's talk to the lads. We'll do what Antia says. He tells us to inform them they were excellent, so we're going to say we're very pleased with the performance and just hope they can keep it up for the second half. Oliviera, who scored that early screamer, set it all up by scoring in the first minute, and now Billy Gilmore out to the left. It's a terrible pass, and it's out for a throw on the Lyon right back area. Gilmore wins it back from the throw though. Oliviera tries to put Bernard in, but it's closed and cleared away. It's a long ball forward by the Lyon right back, and they look out of ideas. They're just hoofing it forward at long range, and hopefully we can deal with that. Although we've slipped at the back, Konza did terribly, and they put it in at the second attempt. Raya tried to save his bacon, but Esri Konza, what are you doing, son? Just clear the ball away. Gilmore with a free kick. It's blocked by the wall, and now we've got some work to do, and just that little creeping doubt coming in again. Bernard's had a brilliant chance in the box. It fell to him nicely, but he's put it over the bar, and it remains 2-1 on the night, with 3-1 up on aggregate, but Lyon just need 3 more goals. Arzani with a free kick. We're just past the hour mark. Yanderson heads it. Brilliant save by Karius, and it's hacked away by Lyon. It's our throw on the right hand side, but what a chance that was to really wrap up the tie. We've nearly played 3/4 of the game, so we'll make some subs in a moment. We'll just try and see it to the 70-minute mark without conceding again. David Raya's made a howler, and now we are in trouble. We've said at half time we got arrogant before, and on this occasion it could cost us again, as we've been put back on level terms on the night, and Lyon now just need to. Let's go and make a couple of subs. Individual errors from the most unlikely of sources. Ezri Konsa and David Raya. Joe Gomez has got a poor rating as well. We'll replace him with Matiju, and then we're also going to take off Brian Barrett, who's not had the best game at all, and he's going to be replaced by the experienced Iwobi. That leaves us with one more sub that we can make in 5 minutes time, but we just want to see out a few more minutes. We're going to drop our mentality to standard once those changes are made, just to try and get a bit more defensive structure. Just 15 minutes to go. Lyon have got it on the right, but they've given it away to Iwobi. In the time you've been away, we've also changed some of our tactics. We've gone to time wasting. Oliveira has a shot which is blocked and is cleared away by Lyon. We've gone to time wasting, as I said. We mentioned we were going to drop to balanced. There's another free kick's headed away. We seem to be back on the front foot now with Iwobi on the right. He finds Douglas Luiz. We've also got the lads to slow the pace down when they win possession back and not go forward quite as much. Our left back Jamal Lewis has dropped to a support duty. So there's plenty of times where we've gone a bit more disciplined. Hopefully that'll see out the game well. Oliveira with the ball in the middle. Slides Bernard in. This could wrap it up. Oh, it's gone in eventually. What on earth has happened there? Bernard's shot was saved. It hit the defender. Then went and hit the post. And Karius looked like he could have just picked it up. But instead it rolled into the net. The tie's over. We lead 4-2 on aggregate. And now Lyon need 3 again in the last 7 minutes. So a brilliant goal for us. Konsa's made another howler. What on earth is going on back there? Ezri Konsa is so consistent, but today he's all over the place and keeps giving the ball away. We'll make those changes recommended by our assistant just to close people down, and now we've got the ball with Arzani and Douglas Luiz. Here's Gilmore. Luiz to Arzani again. They're not really showing much intent to go forward now, although Oliveira's broken free. He finds Iwobi, takes on the fullback and finds David Arzani. What a brilliant bit of play that is. It's Daniel Arzani, I realise that. He's got the same first name as me, I should probably remember it, but with 5 minutes to go it remains 3-2 on the night, and it looks like it's going to be a famous European occasion. Bernard puts Iwobi in. Brilliant save by Karius, and what a performance this has been on the road. Without the 2 individual errors, this would have been absolutely flawless. 1 minute plus stoppage time. There's 4 to be added on, and we can just celebrate knowing we'll be in the last 8. Yanderson with the ball at the back. Long ball over the top. No one's getting there. It's Zagadou at the back who clears. He's the man who scored the header to make things nervy, but we got back ahead just after, and since then it's been plain sailing. Matiju with the ball at right back. He finds Arzani. Matiju again. Long ball into Gilmore. On the halfway line to Oliveira, and now he's got that space to run into again. Slides it in for Bernard, but it's a brilliant sliding tackle, and Lyon clear down the left. Joveljic with the ball. Tries to cross. Konsa's got it. Can he deal with that one comfortably? He finally does, and Douglas Luiz brings it away. Why is the highlight still going? Young puts them in, and that's why. It's 3-3 on the night, but again from the back, we've cost ourselves a silly goal. Thankfully there was only 30 seconds left and it won't affect the overall result, but I'm really a bit concerned about our defensive performances. In the big games we've seen on camera, we conceded 3 against Schalke, 3 against Spurs and 3 again tonight. Tonight we've got 3 goals at the other end though, so it doesn't matter too much, but I'm still a little bit concerned moving forward. We can't afford to do that in the latter stages. We're going to tell the lads they've done well, they look delighted with that, and most importantly today, we got through to the last 8, and that's all that mattered in this episode. We've got the draw coming up tomorrow, which we'll look at on camera, and then we'll be back in a few weeks' time, once we find our next big episode. Let's quickly look at what the media have said about the game. We win in the second knockout round. It was down to that first leg 1-0 triumph, otherwise it would have been a fairly even match. But 3 away goals is always going to do well in Europe, and we've got nearly £1 million to add as well. So we'll deal with the press conference off camera, and we'll be back in a moment with the draw for the quarter final, as well as the semis as well I think, which are normally done at the same time. Okay, we're back for the quarter-final draw. There's some really big sides left in this. Bayern Munich and Liverpool among them. The likes of West Ham and PSV are still there as well. So the English sides continue to do well. I'm not sure if Tottenham got through though. They didn't. Valencia nicked it off them. So let's go through the last 8. Borussia Dortmund are still there as well, as are Valencia as we've mentioned, so there's a real contrast of sides here. The likes of Levante and West Ham, who haven't been at this stage for a while. You could probably say the same about us as well, and then some monster sides in there too, who we will obviously be hoping to avoid. So let's get the first team out of the hat. It's West Ham United. Over 2 legs we'd probably take this. Let's see if we can get them. It's PSV who have come out, so that's another one of the sides we'd expect to beat. Now Levante are probably the most friendly side left. So let's get the second lot out. It's Borussia Dortmund, one we'd love to avoid, but I'm sure we've got to face one of these monsters now. It's Borussia Dortmund v Liverpool, a repeat of a semi-final in real life a few years ago. It was absolutely brilliant, and that's surely going to be a cracking tie. I must say, looking at the last 8 for this draw, I'm a little less confident of winning it now, but we're still going to fight all the way. Valencia are out of the hat. Tottenham ran them close, so hopefully we could get through. Let's see if we can come out against them. It is going to be us, we know from the pause, which means Bayern Munich and Levante face off. We've got Valencia in the quarter-final. They're second in Spanish La Liga. That's not bad at all. Who are they behind in the league there? It's Barcelona. So they're actually ahead of Real Madrid, who gave us an absolute walloping in the Champions League group stages. So that's going to be a real tough tie. They've got some brilliant players there. Lee Kangin worth £65 million. In our other series, he's played against us in the Championship. It just shows how 2 different saves can lead to 2 completely different careers. What a world-class player, and I think our director of football tried to sign him in the summer. So a tough tie in the quarter-final of the Europa League. We'll probably do the same again. This time we've got the away leg first, which will be tricky. So we'll either come back if we get through for the FA Cup semi-final, or the second leg at home to Valencia. Whichever one looks like it's going to be closer, or looks like it's going to give us the best chance of getting through for success. We're here to win trophies, and we're still in 2 competitions at this stage of the year, having won the Carabao Cup already. Apologies as the voice is slightly weakening towards the end, but if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of that draw and the away performance before it. Did we deserve to get through? And what about that strike from Oliveira? Talk about that quality in the first minute of a tie when you need an away goal to see yourselves through. A bit concerning at the back. Is there anything I can do to stop the rot against these big sides? Or do I just have to face as a manager who lays out an attacking formation with big overlapping fullbacks that we're going to get caught out on the break occasionally? A disappointing youth intake as well, but obviously in this series it's not quite so important as we're going to be moving on in the next year or 2 and won't get to see any of these lads develop. It's more important in our Torquay save, and we had our youth intake recently in that one, so if you haven't been keeping up to date with that series yet, then pop back over and check it out. It's certainly been an interesting season. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one, the head coach, and then the other series with Torquay we just mentioned. That one's a 1 club series, so if you're not a fan of the Journeyman style save and you prefer people building up 1 club, then you'll certainly prefer the other series where we're trying to make it to the top with Torquay. Also keep an eye out on the channel from content from a brand new sports game. We're having a go at Snooker 19, so if you are a fan of other sports games, there'll be quite regular content from that game over the next few weeks. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and we'll see you next time for another massive cup game.